Hello everyone, we are back. And those of you then following along should know that we really don't know what the hell we're doing. We're just experimenting and seeing what happens. This whole car is our first experiment in doing carbon fiber. So all we can do is try stuff and see how it works and then basically pivot when we see it. If it's what we want, great. If not, then we figure out what to do next. So this is a figure out what to do next. Luckily, I think we made the right choice. So we made this part. It is from the mold. There's the mold. And we put carbon fiber, first sprayed it with PVA, the mold with PVA. Then we put epoxy over the PVA. Then we put the carbon fiber on the epoxy and then alternated layers between more epoxy and more carbon fiber. I believe there's 3 layers there, if I'm not mistaken. Then we let it cure, and then we pulled it out of the mold. And this is what we have. Now in this case, if you notice, we use scraps of carbon fiber, which is why the pattern doesn't match in certain places, because we're actually going to paint this either flat black or matte black. We haven't decided which. Although as nice as it came out, it's kind of a shame. It would have been nice to have exposed carbon fiber, but we even use the edges that have the little yellow strip to hold the carbon fiber together, so that would show if we left it. Anyway, so what we did was when we were done, we sanded it, and when we sanded it, we noticed that we had, I won't say a lot, but we had pits in the finish, pinholes. And so we went, oh crap, what do we do about pinholes? So we asked the groups what to do about pinholes. And there were a lot of different suggestions, anything from chop up the thing and start all over again to, I don't know, it went all over the gamut. One thing was to use spot filler and spot fill it. Another one is, of course, primer, but squeegee the primer to force it into the holes. Part of the fear was if we just primed over it, that we would actually just be covering up the pinholes. And then when we put the thing out in the sun and the air expanded in the pinhole, it would actually cause bubbles in the primer and of course the paint job. So we kind of nixed that idea of just putting primer on, but there were ways to do it. You could roll it on, actually take a pin or something and make sure the air is not trapped underneath. What I did find out was a lot of times when I rolled it on, that it really did. It covered up the pinhole, but the pinhole was still underneath the primer. There was air there. So what we decided to do instead, we'd already sanded it with, I don't know, like 80 or 120 or something like that to get it to that level when we saw the pinholes. So rather than use primer or anything else, we decided we would put simply another coat of epoxy on it. It already had the whole surface scuffed with, like I said, either 80 or 120. I'm not sure what it was. We use all different grits around here. And so then we put another layer of epoxy on it. So now you can see that this new layer of epoxy looks pretty darn good. Now it's not flat because you can see there's some verge of runs or whatever on here, but we don't care. We just wanted to fill the pinholes. So there are a few depressions you can see here, but a lot of these that I'm seeing aren't depressions. They're actually, it's sticking up from the surface. So we'll see what happens. We're going to sand this again with, I think 320 is what we're going to use. And we will see when we sand it, how much, if there are any more pinholes. There might be, we don't know, but I am shocked. When I tried this previously, I couldn't get it smooth enough to deem that it was worth putting another layer of epoxy on it. But my assistant did this one, and they did such a good job that, I mean, this thing almost could go out exactly like it is, except of course there's no UV protection. So we would have to clear it. Since we have to clear it, we have to sand it, and that's what we're getting ready to do with the 320 is sand it. We're not going to, well, we might clear it. We're trying to decide what to do with that. Anyway, but in any case, we will at least paint this with flat black or matte black after it's sanded. But we'll sand it and see where we are. But I just wanted to show you the results here. Let me walk all the way around it. It's a little crowded in here, so you'll have to excuse the, but you can see, there's my reflection right there. That's pretty nice job. Like I said, if we had not used pieces of carbon fiber on this, this would be a decent exposed carbon fiber job. And this is just hand doing everything. We're not using vacuum. We're not using anything expensive. We're just doing this the cheap backyard way. And personally, I'm really pleased with the results. This has been curing for 2 days, so it's definitely cured enough to sand. It's not fully cured, but it's cured enough to sand. But again, this kind of dispels the rumor or whatever that you've got to go spend a whole bunch of money on tools and equipment and all that stuff to get a nice carbon fiber job. Like I said, if we had used a solid piece of carbon fiber or carbon fiber that has the material on the back to keep the weave lined up, this would be ready to go. I mean, this would look good on pretty much anybody's car. All right, that's enough rambling for now. Anyway, I just wanted to get a before picture now so that you can see. I should have gotten a before we put the epoxy on, but I honestly did not think it would come out this good. So now we're going to sand it, see what we've got, and then from there decide, are we going to clear it? Are we going to do the flat or matte black? Or what are we going to do? So we'll see when we get done with that. But the first thing to see is after we sand it, do we have any more pinholes? If we got rid of the pinholes, then honestly, this is the way to go. I mean, we added a day basically to fix all the pinholes, but if there are none, then we literally fixed all the pinholes with an extra day's worth of work. All right, like, subscribe, hit the alert, hit the thanks if you want to donate. And if you don't like what we're doing, you don't know Jack. Bye.